Ladies and gentlemen, I am SidAlpha. The gameplay on your screen now has nothing to do with the topic at hand, but is merely there to serve as a backdrop for our discussion today. The game itself is Spellforce 3, and I expect to have a review on this game later this week. I know I already promised a review tomorrow, but there's simply too much industry nonsense going on right now for me to be able to meet that deadline. This video, I know, will most likely not seem of any great importance to very many of you, as it does involve the mobile market, and I will not take it as any form of insult if you choose to give this video a skip. That said, the potential of outright theft of a game in order to turn around and have it published by a division of Ubisoft was enough to raise my eyebrows and actually take a look. The DMs on Twitter and emails also helped a bit in that regard as well, I'm not going to lie, but suffice to say, we're here now, and I should probably stop rambling on nonsensically and tell you all exactly what has been going on. Also, as one of these games is only on iOS, I am unable to obtain gameplay footage, so you'll have to bear with me. The images on your screen are of a game called Stair. It is a simple pass-the-time style game developed by Burak Kurkcu that is designed to be a simple beat-your-own high-score style game, and it is a free app. It's received 4.5 out of 5 stars by its terrifyingly small number of 5 ratings on the Apple Store. And it would seem, according to recent Twitter posts, this developer is under the impression that his game has been ripped off, and that is where we introduce Stairs by Yuri Sannikov. It is mechanically and visually strikingly similar to Stair, and for all intents and purposes, these are the exact same game frameworks with a couple of extremely minor graphical tweaks. Owing to this app's publisher, Ketchapp, having the ability to actually advertise their title, Stairs has received significantly more attention, having received 4.5 stars over the course of 3,197 total reviews. So obviously the clone is vastly more popular than the original, wherein lies the problem. These apps, both free titles on the App Store, rely not on sales, but on ad revenue generated from each time the app is played. These games operate in a similar fashion in that respect to YouTube videos, as a matter of fact, relying on the ad revenue generated. As such, this requires thousands of downloads and an active player base in order to generate any significant income. The idea, again matching the YouTube business model, that players or viewers, instead of investing money for the app, would instead pay with their time in order to view a brief advertisement. It's a fair trade-off and one that is widely accepted. Again, I'm probably biased as YouTube relies on that same core principle. Regardless, the Ketchapp title is significantly more popular, and the clone is reducing visibility and therefore significantly impacting the income of Burak Kurkcu via his app Stair. And I know some people are going to ask, so yes, I did check. The original game Stair was originally released by Burak Kurkcu in October of this year, while its clone, Stairs, was released just 4 days ago on December 13th. And I'll admit, at first, I was intending to come at this from a more objective standpoint, pointing out that Ketchapp, a mobile app publisher now owned by Ubisoft, may have been simply unaware that the game their developer had put out for them to publish was in fact a cloned game. After all, the mobile market is a complete and total mess, and I would advise most discerning gamers to avoid them like the plague, as that is the case. However, I'd found that Ketchapp themselves are in fact quite notorious for this sort of thing, and in fact have actually garnered a reputation for their games being clones. I decided to do some extra looking, as even though I'm not a mobile gamer myself, I recalled hearing the name Ketchapp before. And after a few minutes, I finally remembered a somewhat small but notable controversy back in 2014. Back then, I used to watch Sean Plott, better known as Day 9, and his regular StarCraft 2 series quite religiously, and during that time I recalled Day 9 mentioning this new app that a friend of his had helped design called Threes, a simple number match game that a lot of people were talking about for quite a while. If you aren't aware, or if you don't remember, there was a game called 2048 that was an admitted clone of another game called 1024, which was itself a direct clone of Threes. 2048, a free version game, actually rose to the top of the mobile game charts for a significant period of time and is a Ketchapp title. My research, which actually only took a couple of minutes now that I knew what to search for, continued on with Rotable from Matt Akins being cloned by Ketchapp through a shell company called AppCow, which, if you'd like full details on how the dots were connected in that instance, there will be a link to the Kotaku article I'm citing here in the description of this video. There was also the Ketchapp game Hoverboard Rider, which is nothing more than a reskinned version of Flappy Bird. Also, there was evidence of other clones littering the internet that could very easily be found after only the briefest of Google searches. Risky Road from Ketchapp that seemed to be nothing more than an exceptionally bland clone of Smuggle Truck by Alchemy Labs, and was one of the more notable clones that I came across. The case in point is, it seems that Burak Kurkcu is yet one more victim of Ketchapp's duplicitous greed. What strikes me as interesting, however, is that this publisher was purchased by Ubisoft in September of 2016, and while I know that very few people actually care about the mobile platform, hence why the app stores are such raging dumpster fires as they are now, but what Ketchapp is doing is, for all intents and purposes, a potential form of theft. It just so happens to be most likely just on the other side of the line of legality, otherwise they probably would have faced prosecution by now. But now it would seem that Ubisoft, by way of ownership, is complicit in these acts of virtual theft against independent developers. Now, this is one of the largest problems on the mobile platforms overall, and Mr. Kurkcu, my apologies if I've been pronouncing your name wrong this whole time, is the latest in what appears to be a very long line of Ketchapp victims. It's even more concerning that Ubisoft, one of the larger games publishers in the world, is allowing this sort of practice to continue over the course of the past year of their ownership of Ketchapp, earning significant profits off of what amounts to other people's work. And while there may not be much that can be legally done, there is a possibility that if these issues gain enough visibility and traction, that Ubisoft might feel the need to step in order to, at the very least, do damage control and put a stop to these horrendous practices, preventing any other indie developer from having to suffer that same thing happening to them. But as always, please do let me know what you think about all of this down in the comments below. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. That is perhaps the best way to support my channel if you feel inclined to do so. Special thanks to the Patreon 20 and Up Club. Their names are listed in the description. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, I am SidAlpha, and I'll see you next time.